well, good morning, everybody. Thank you all for coming out today, and I want to thank our great partners here at AMPT. Dave Christopher is doing a great job here and has been for years in our community, so we appreciate being here at the Village at West Jefferson, which just had its official kickoff about 2 or 3 weeks ago, opened up 100% leased, and great testament to Reverend Jamesetta Ferguson and her team for getting this done, so we appreciate being here. Let's shift over to talk a little bit about money. We've got a new fiscal year budget that started on July the 1st, and when I presented this budget, I was focused on what we call a whole of government or whole of city approach to becoming safer and cleaner and a healthier city. Investing in our youth is a big part of the budget, especially traditionally underserved youth. It's a key part of our approach to our work in violence prevention and intervention. We certainly were reminded about this last night when there were 2 incidents in the Shawnee neighborhood on Cecil involving 3 juveniles. And you know, you see these things and you say, oh no, here we go. And then for one to happen a couple hours later after that just makes it even more unacceptable and tragic. So LMPD is obviously investigating. Anybody that knows anything about this, please help us with confidential leads at 574-LMPD. So it's important that we provide more pathways to create and foster opportunity for our youth, because we know that every young person deserves a chance to live a good, long life and realize their full human potential. My office and our Metro Council are fully committed and invested in not only educating underserved youth on their options, but helping them reach their goals and fulfill their dreams, and thus planting a seed and building the foundation for individual success and our city's success as well. An investment in our youth is an investment in our community's success, not just for today, but especially for tomorrow and our future, making us the great city that we are today and want to be even greater in the future. And that's why this year's approved budget includes continued investments in post-secondary education and workforce development initiatives, as well as investments in organizations that provide the much-needed support for the young people in our community. When you look at the majority of the source of the problems that come through my office, it's poverty. And we know the #1 disruptor of poverty is education, specifically a post-secondary education, whether it's a credential or a PhD. So this budget, I'm pleased to report, has $3 million in it for the Evolve 502 Promise Scholarships. And we've doubled the budget for Summer Works to $1 million as we work to bring all of our education and workforce development efforts into alignment, working with the JCPS Academies of Louisville. This $3 million investment in Evolve 502 Promise Scholarships was matched by a foundation gift of $2.5 million. So the Promise Scholarships now have $20 million in them. So anybody that's a freshman to a senior at JCPS has no financial constraints to getting a post-secondary degree. And so that is a huge thing for our community. We're also investing in Kentuckiana Works Reimage program that's helping to break the cycle of incarceration and recidivism by connecting justice-involved youth to education, training, and key industries like IT, manufacturing, and construction. You're going to hear more about Kentuckiana Works in a few minutes. Another key partner in our work to build up our city's young people is our Office for Youth Development, led by Dr. BILLIE Castle. This year's budget doubles the funding to support the office's mission to transform systems that prevent young people from living equitable, healthy, and happy lives. The $1 million expansion includes staffing for community outreach to meet the unique needs of youth between the ages of 10 to 15, making sure that they and their support system are connected to resources. So to hear more about that, I'd like to introduce Dr. BILLIE Castle to talk about these initiatives and our commitment to equitable opportunities. Dr. Castle.
Be Free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom to others, by Nelson Mandela. Thank you, Mayor Fisher, for being an advocate for Louisville's youth, Chief James for your support, Director Laird, and then I see Councilman Arthur, who has also been a champion for our youth here in the city. We truly appreciate it, and we need all the champions to make sure that our youth really live those healthy and equitable lives. Almost 2 months ago, we launched the Louisville Youth Network, connecting youth between the ages of 16 and 24 to resources and services such as transportation, education, housing, and career advancement. Since launching, more than 100 youth have been connected to empowerment navigators and getting connected to the resources they need to live healthy lives and achieve their goals. The hard work of our partners at the Coalition Supporting Young Adults, the Louisville Urban League, and Goodwill Industries of Kentucky, one, makes my job a little easier, but has been proven effective. We can get a lot more accomplished when we collaborate and not really working in competition. Our youth need us as youth-serving organizations and adults to really work together to make sure that we are bringing all of our resources and strengths to help them achieve their goals and have productive things to do in the community. Again, our goal is to create an infrastructure that connects youth, community, youth-serving organizations, and Metro to create that shared agenda on how we can support Louisville youth achieving their goals. The investments we've received will really help expand the Office of Youth Development to achieving our goal and creating that shared agenda. This fall, with the expansion of our staff, we're making sure we're taking it up another notch. We're truly breaking down the silos that exist in our community to make sure the youth have everything they need to offer. We are definitely putting adult issues to the side and making sure that we are amplifying the needs of our youth. Again, OID is committed to transformation approaches that work across multiple institutions and systems to really shift towards those proactive solutions. We need to be ahead of all the things that are happening, and for us to do that, we really need a strong foundation, and that's what the Office of Youth Development is working towards. This investment is a step in the right direction, and we want to continue to see this grow over the years with the investments in the office and our partners in the city. We want to make sure that we have recreational options, parks, community centers, great spaces like we're here today at Amped. Americana is another example, in places such as movie theaters, skating rinks and parks, bowling alleys, places kids like to have fun. As we think about this summer, many of them have been in the house for over a year, challenges through school and family. We just want to make sure that in the community, they have multiple options for good fun to make sure that they're living lives like kids. Thank you, Mahogany Mayfield and Gabrielle Benford, who have diligently worked in the office. We are three, but we are mighty, as you've seen in the small time that we've gotten a lot accomplished. And so with more that we're adding to the staff, you're going to see more coming from the office. So make sure if you have great skills for working with youth, connect with us and look at the job opportunities open. Also, join us Friday, July 30th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Norton Healthcare Sports and Learning Center for a back-to-school bash with our partners, which will also feature a youth pop-up shop with youth entrepreneurs between the ages of 10 and 24. We'll have music, games, food, shopping, backpacks, school supplies, and we're watching the movie Soul at 6 p.m. We wanted to showcase all the great things our youth are doing in the community. Many of them have been super innovative, especially thinking about this past year, and started many businesses. So we'll have youth entrepreneurs being together who sells local honey, who will have Leah Made It with jewelry. There'll be cupcakes and sweets, as well as Lady J's lemonades. I want to make sure all the youth sell out on Friday. So adults, bring your pocketbooks. You may have gotten paid that day, so make sure you come and spend your money. And we want to show the youth in our community that we support everything that they do. So come out and show that they are an asset in all the things that they do. And this is another example of some of the things the Office of Youth Development is going to bring. How do we really look at our youth as assets and build those things up around what they want to do? We're also excited to showcase one of the 5 kiosks that are launching in the community. How do we expand access? That's the other part of what we're doing. The kiosks help us do that, as well as we'll have satellite offices at many of our metro community centers, with the staff being there also to connect with families and youth out where they are. Making sure we're meeting the needs of our community in the community is a great example of the kiosk. And that's why we're here today, and that is what we're doing with the investments. We want to show you where the money's going, and not only that, we want to make sure that the money is really supporting our youth. So thank you all for coming and supporting us, and continue to support all the great things of our youth in the city.
Thank you, Dr. Castle. They do incredible work at OYD, but you can see Dr. Castle is all about the money. She's the first person that's made a pitch for the FY23 budget, so I appreciate that. And she's exhorting people to spend money to support our youth, which is a great thing to do. So this budget also supports the expansion of the Louisville Youth Network, and that's a one-stop shop for youth resources that my office, Metro Council, and community partners launched this spring. Our Office of Youth Development leads the network with partners that include the Coalition Supporting Young Adults, the Louisville Urban League, and Goodwill Industries of Kentucky. And I'd like to recognize representatives from these agencies are with us here today. Denise Ritchie and Sharon Algar with Goodwill, and I saw Rena Sharp here as well. Jabela Sanchez with the Urban League, and Daryl Young Jr. and Brittany Brown with CSYA. Let's give it up for them. We've really been gratified by the work we're seeing here. Since its launch in May, the Youth Network has received 256 referrals, and 99 youth have been assigned an empowerment navigator. So I'm happy to announce that due to this success, that this year's budget provides for the expansion of this network so we can broaden our reach, connecting with youth ages 10 to 24 and youth who are not among those who we traditionally track as disconnected. So here with us today from the Louisville Youth Network is CSYA Network Coordinator Brittany Brown, who will tell us more about the top needs of our city's youth as we walk us through the resources available on new standalone kiosk, and there's one over there if you guys want to get a shot of that later. And we've got 5 youth-focused organizations that are all part of this, so we're going to hear more about this, and one of our partners is right here at AMPT as well, so Brittany Brown is going to share more information with us. Brittany.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here. My name is Brittany Brown, and I serve as the Network Coordinator with the Coalition Supporting Young Adults. The Coalition Supporting Young Adults, or CSYA, is a collective action initiative of community organizations and individuals who come together to address the needs of youth and young adults who are disconnected, out of school and work due to structural racism, poverty, homelessness, educational disruption, childhood trauma, and related challenges. CSYA serves as a centralization and outreach agency within the Louisville Youth Network. We have assisted with updating the community directories for both the Louis Connect and Unite Us platforms. CSYA also leads the marketing outreach through social media, paid media, and connections to youth-serving organizations, grassroots leaders, youth influencers, and so on. We've completed a radio advertising campaign as well as a citywide street campaign distributing flyers through our community centers. We have also worked to produce issue briefs on trends affecting youth and young adults and recommendations regarding best practices. We know how critical it is to serve this population. Louisville's 13% disconnection rate in 2019 ranked our city 34th out of the 50 most populous states plus Washington, D.C. Unfortunately, with the COVID-19 pandemic, it is estimated that this number has likely more than doubled. That's why partnerships like the Louisville Youth Network are so important to not only improving our disconnection rate, but improving the lives of the youth in our community. And we've seen much success since the May launch of the Louisville Youth Network. As Mayor Fisher and Dr. BILLIE Castle mentioned, Louisville Urban League has received over 250 referrals as of June 30th through Unite Us. Nearly 100 youth have been paired with an empowerment navigator for case management services and have completed both orientation and a needs assessment. Of that, 74 youth have completed a 2-hour critical skills class, gaining knowledge in areas like soft skills and budgeting. From March to June, 77 youth have been connected to the peer support specialist through Goodwill. In addition, Goodwill has provided 72 monthly bus passes, 9 bicycle packages through their Last Mile to Work program, and 1 youth has received a driver's license. These numbers are not only proof of the need that exists, but are a huge testament to the dedicated members of this team that are working with our youth to help them become active members in this community. While this is only a small portion of the disconnected youth, we know that this is just the beginning. Through our partnership with Family Scholar House, we are expanding the availability of the Louis Connect kiosk, like this one here at Amped to my right. 4 additional kiosks will be present at Youth Build Louisville, Americana World Community Center, California Community Center, and Southwick Community Center. We would like to extend a tremendous thank you to Matt Kelly with Family Scholar House for his undertaking in making this happen. Through Louis Connect, there are a number of different service options to meet the needs of our youth, of our young people, such as housing, food assistance, educational support, job coaching, transportation, and so much more. With these kiosks, we are providing an additional way for youth to plug into the network of services and find resources. Our hope is to eliminate any barriers to access by placing kiosks directly in the communities and organizations where our youth are. We understand the importance of meeting youth where they are and providing them a space to advocate for themselves. These partnerships will help to create multiple options and pathways to success for our young people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, I mentioned earlier that Kentuckiana Works has long been a really critical partner in this work. More than 800 young people have enrolled in its reimage program, and participants' recidivism rate in their first year has remained under 10%, which is really amazing because the national average is 44% for this program. So these results, these outcomes tell us that this program really works, so we got to scale it up. I want to recognize Kim Moore, who's behind us here. She was one of the first people to be involved in reimage there. So Kim, we appreciate your work. Kentuckiana Works has got their hands in a lot of different things. They also run the Kentucky Youth Career Center, which has helped more than 3,000 young people navigate life challenges and access job and career readiness resources. And I'd like to introduce Michael Gritton. He's the Executive Director of Kentuckiana Works, who leads all of these efforts. Michael?
Well, as part of this Louisville Youth Network, we are really proud as Kentuckiana Works, the Workforce Development Board, to be part of this network that is trying to put its hands out to any disconnected young person 16 to 24 who isn't in school or isn't working, and they want to change that. That is what we do at the Kentucky Youth Career Center and at the Reimage program, both of which are funded by the city as well as partly by federal money that we receive from the Department of Labor. So we want to say thank you to the mayor for his leadership around building the budget to do more to try to create opportunities for those young people. You see behind me folks from Goodwill. We will be giving you more information in a month or two, but our friends at Goodwill have taken over running both the Kentucky Youth Career Center and the Reimage program here in Louisville as of July 1st. We are really excited about that partnership, but the key thing to know from what the mayor is describing to you is that as the workforce people, we're about 2 things, education and jobs. And if you know any person out there 16 to 24 who wants help getting a job or getting the kind of training they need to get a job, we are the people. They can go on the Kentuckiana Works website and learn more. But we're quite grateful for the mayor's leadership. I also want to recognize Councilman Arthur, a proud PRP grad who's in our Hall of Fame. I want to give a shout out to my PRP Panthers today, but the leadership that he and others on the council have provided to encourage the city to invest more in this population remember, when the mayor's describing in reimage, we're working with court-involved young people, and very few of those young people re-offend once they connect to us. We've learned over and over again that if we can give them a connection to a caring adult, a job pathway, a skill pathway that creates a better future for them, that's really all they're looking for, and we're happy to do that. So again, we're happy to be part of this network, happy to be doing this work, and look forward to doing a lot more of it in the next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. No, it's amazing. I mean, we're really thankful for this year's budget because we've finally been able to scale a lot of these programs up that have proven to be quite successful over the years. So we're very optimistic about the results from them. Another one of the programs is SummerWorks, and we launched SummerWorks 10 years ago with about 200 youth participating, and now there's thousands and thousands. So we've just gotten into our second decade. It's incredibly gratifying to see the impact of this program over this decade that it's had really on tens of thousands of young people right now. And so we're nearing the end of the SummerWorks season right now. This last year was hard, obviously, because of the pandemic, and then preparing for this year was also difficult because we didn't know what the status of the pandemic was going to be here this summer. So our team has entrepreneurially worked through that as we continue to build capacity and partnerships with businesses and JCPS and really lining it up for a really big year next year. So I'd like to invite SummerWorks Director Chris Locke to the podium, who shepherds us through all of these opportunities. Chris?
Thank you, Mayor Fisher, and good morning to everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with all of the other programs that support young people's success. So we'd like to thank the mayor, first of all, and the council for doubling the SummerWorks budget for 2022. And their investment overall in young people's success. This will be the largest SummerWorks budget since the inception of the program, and so that's a huge deal. As the mayor said, the program began in 2011 when he decided to start SummerWorks in partnership with Kentuckiana Works and my boss back there, Michael Gritton. And so it's a pleasure for me to have the opportunity to be in any type of role with SummerWorks. One of the things about this year is as the mayor said, we're close to ending the program year for 2021. So we'll be coming back to you in the near future about the specifics of that. But we are excited about this investment going into the next year because what it allows us to do is capitalize on the momentum that we were able to get this year coming out of the 2020 COVID summer. And as well as, so those resources and this momentum will be instrumental in making 2022 an even bigger year where we really double down on trying to increase our numbers, but also the quality of the services that young people are able to get through SummerWorks. We'll continue our efforts to develop a youth talent development system. We'll do that in partnership with many of the people in this room, as well as Jefferson County Public Schools Academies of Louisville, who we've been in deep partnership with, and some of the innovative things we've been able to do, like with Evolve 502 this summer. Since 2011, we've served about 6,800 young people have been placed in employment directly. But over those 10 years, 33,000 young people have worked for at least one Summer Works champion employer. So that's 33,000 young people have been able to earn wages, get exposure to some type of career opportunity, caring adults, mentorship. And so we're excited about that. And according to Kentucky Stats, in 2019, when they released a research report, it showed the importance of Kentuckiana Works, that those who participated in SummerWorks are more likely to stay in the workforce longer and also to pursue post-secondary education. So as Michael said, Kentuckiana Works is about education and workforce. So we look forward to the 2022 year with SummerWorks and reporting out to you this year on the results from 2021. So thank you for all of your support.
Thank you, Chris. As I mentioned, members of the council have been great partners in the work, and we quadrupled the amount of money regarding reimagining public safety and building youth potential this year over prior year's budget. So, as I said, we're really hopeful about the impact that that's going to have. And you can see we're building on programs that have proven results. So I want to thank the Metro Council for the good work that they've done on this budget as well, especially as it relates to funding our youth initiatives in this year's budget. So representing the council, and we're in his district right here as well, is Councilman JECOREY Arthur, who's going to share a few words with us now. Councilman?
Peace. As you all know, I'm Councilman JECOREY Arthur of Louisville Metro District 4, what I like to call the heart of Louisville. I'm here to speak on behalf of the council, but if y'all know anything about me, I'm gonna do the opposite. I wanna stress the importance of the youth that will be impacted, that will be served by the institutions that are here today, by the dollars that have been allocated, because these youth are my cousins, these youth are my neighbors, these youth are me. And when I was out here, when I was them, when I was their age, you really had only a handful of options in terms of what you could do or what you feel like you could become or what you had access to. So many of my friends and my peers, you know, they were playing in the streets, getting into all sorts of mess. Some of them played in sports. I chose to play drums. And if you look today, whether it's this kiosk, whether it's the AMPed program, whether we're thinking about River City Drum Corps, Summer Works, all of these different options that we as a city are now really prioritizing and saying these are important, these are essential, and breaking down every single barrier that exists. You can't just say these are life-changing. You have to come to the realization that these are life-saving, all of these programs. And I really just wanted to come here and say that today, because if it were not for some of these programs that we're talking about, I wouldn't be standing here. If it were not for some of these programs that we're talking about today, a sister testified in Metro Council just earlier this week, a young woman who's a student, I think at Manual, she would not have been where she was. We have to make sure that we follow through on the promises that were afforded to some of us and really plant those seeds, even if we are not here to see them grow. My favorite abolitionist, Frederick Douglass, once said it's easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken men. Maybe you've given up on our boomers. Maybe you've given up on Gen X. Maybe you've given up on my generation, the millennials, but never, ever give up on the next generation that is to come. Generation Z, Generation Alpha, my son, because they are going to be the Mayor Fishers of tomorrow. They are going to be the Councilman Arthurs of tomorrow. They're going to be the Tamika Lairds running departments that save people's lives. So we have to make sure we instill everything in them that we can, break down all barriers that we can, and give them those access points, even if we are not here to see the results of it. Thank you.